Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Furcon Technologies. And as I promised, in today's video, we'll be discussing the EUI-64 method of IPv6 address creation. So let's just get straight into this. Okay, so the method is the IPv6 address creation. One of the IPv6 address creation methods is called the modified EUI-64. It could also be just abbreviated to EUI-64. EUI-64 on its own. The EUI portion stands for Extended Unique Identifier. Okay, let's move through these here. What is the EUI-64 method? So, this is a method in which the router literally just takes an interface's MAC address and uses it to create an IPv6 address for that interface. Well, you might be wondering, how does the router do that? And here are the steps. So it takes the 6-byte, which is also 12 hex digits, MAC address of the interface where the address is being configured and splits it into two halves. And then inserts the FFFE between those two halves, which turns the interface, which makes the interface ID 64 bits, aka 16 hex digits. Okay, lastly, the 7th bit, okay, this is a very crucial part and I'm going to be talking about it a little bit more. The 7th bit of the interface ID is inverted. What does inverted mean? Inverted is when a 1 is turned into a 0, that binary bit 1 is turned into a 0 if it was a 1, or if it was a 0, it's turned into a 1. I'm going to demonstrate it here. So, for example, let's say we have a MAC address of 0013.abab.caba. Okay, then we break it down into two halves, which gives us 0013ab, ab, caba, and then we insert the FFFE portion, which turns into 0013 AB FF FE, since we inserted the FE as well, FE AB CABA. Okay. Then we go ahead and invert the 7th bit. Alright. The 7th bit, this is a little trick for you guys so that y'all don't get confused, right? The 7th bit is always this number right here in the first quartet of the newly acquired IPv6, which is this one right here, right? So this is not the final, this is not an IPv6, this is just the interface ID. Okay, I should have clarified this here, but this is the interface ID of the newly acquired IPv6 address, right? But this is not the final version because we still need to invert the 7th bit. Alright, so yeah, so the 7th bit is always the second number, which is going to be here, you know, and obviously if you break it down, that would make a lot more sense. So pretty much we will take this bit, so we could break it down into binary and do all the hard work and all that stuff, you know. I'm not gonna bore you with it here because it's a lengthy process, and at the exam itself it's probably not the ideal thing to do. So I'm just gonna show you the shortcut, and if you're still interested in the binary version of this, you can go ahead and look this up, you know, either on Google, or if you're using the CCNA official study guide, You can definitely find it there. I read it in that book as well, and I mean, it's a bit of a lengthy process. This is a bit easier, right? So again, going back to this, we take the second number, right? Here comes the interesting part, and we need to invert, right? Invert the 7th bit, right? So the cheat sheet, if you look over here, the bit inversion, if you look at the bit inversion cheat sheet right here, if this number in the hexadecimal format is a 0, it turns into a 2. If this was a 2, it would turn into a 0. That is why I put in the double-sided arrows in between these numbers to identify that they're interchangeable, right? And by that I mean if it's a 0, it will turn into a 2, and if it's a 2, it will turn into a 0. Alright, so, you know, if this 0, the second hex digit, right, the second hex digit of the first quartet, if it was a 1, it would turn into a 3. If it was a 3, it would turn into a 1. If it was a 4, it would turn into a 6. If it was a 6, it would turn into a 4. And obviously, you know, you can go down the list like that. So in our case, it's a 0. So looking at the cheat sheet, it would turn into a 2, right? And so if we look over here, this is going to be our interface ID. Or you can see the full conversion here. It will go from 0013 to 0213, right? So this is the crucial part of the EUI-64 process, okay? So yeah, and the interface ID of the IPv6 address, obviously this is the this is the interface ID, aka the last 64 bits of the IPv6 address. So this is not a full IPv6 address, okay? Yeah, and as you can see, we get the address of 0213 ABFF FEAB CABA, and that will be your interface ID. I am going to leave the link to this PowerPoint just for you to, you know, have, since it's a nice little shortcut for EUI-64 process. At least in my opinion it is. Let me know what you thought about this presentation in the comment down below. The second part of this video, I actually wanted to demonstrate this to you using a router and a packet tracer. So this is a 1941 Cisco router. Let's go ahead and get in here. Alright, so we're in the router. We'll do now on here. We're going to enable it. So now, first of all, before I show you how to configure the interface with a EUI-64 IPv6 address, let's go ahead and look at the MAC address of the interface that I want to configure the IPv6 address on. Interfaces. Okay, let's say that we're gonna configure it on G00. So let's go ahead and take the MAC address of G00 and just put it right here. This is the MAC address of G00. Oh my god. Alright. Let's go back here. Okay, now let's see what is gonna happen, right? So what should happen, to our knowledge, right? Again, this address should be broken. So what should happen is this address, this MAC address gets, for the interface ID, this address gets broken down into 2 halves, which is going to be 0060707080C01. Alright, then FFFE is inserted in between, which turns it into 00607. Wait. Okay, yeah. Wait, save. Okay. FF FE 708C001. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and breaking down into 4 quartets here. There we go. And then obviously the second number gets inverted, this one right here. So this is gonna be literally everything the same except for this one, which is gonna turn into a 2. So it's supposed to give us this interface ID, and obviously the prefix of the IPv6 address, which I'm just going to configure here. Let's go into interface G00. First of all, we need to enable IPv6 routing. Unicast routing, there we go. Interface G00. Now, IPv6 address for the EUI-64. Remember this. You only need to give the command, the prefix, aka the subnet ID of the IPv6 address. So it should look something like this. And this is just a pseudo IPv6 address. It doesn't really matter what you use here. EUI. What's going on? Oh, yeah. It's okay, let's do it again. We'll just do it again. 2001 DB 81160. Oh. 64 EUI-64. Okay, now let's run this command. No shut it. And now, when we go over to G00, we should see this interface ID with this prefix. Let's go ahead and see. Show IPv6 interface brief. As we can see here, this is our prefix. Okay, and this is our interface ID. Look at that. Well, obviously the leading zeros are omitted. So 260, okay, 70FF, all right, FE70, okay, 8C01, all right. So we got, this is our IPv6 address created with the EUI-64, and as you can see here, even the link local is automatically generated with an EUI-64 method. Alright, so that is it for this video. This is a fairly short video. I just wanted to come out and tell you a little bit more about the EUI-64 method. I just learned about this method myself not too long ago, around 3 days ago. I just wanted to teach you guys what I learned. I like teaching people what I learn, you know, on an everyday basis, you know, whether it be IT or anything else that I read or learn about. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like I said, I'm gonna leave a link to the PowerPoint in the description. Yeah, if you don't mind, go ahead and subscribe to my channel if this video was a help. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you didn't enjoy this video, just go ahead and dislike it if you like. And yeah, peace be upon you all, and thank you so much for joining. Until next time,